back. 6:14 is the time this morning. The pandemic brought many challenges and changes, one of them being remote learning and work.
Yeah, consumer investigative reporter Jenna Ray finds Generation Z students who learned online during the COVID-19 shutdown now have different expectations as they enter the workforce.
A life-changing event for most of the world.
I started my entire career virtually. The internship was supposed to be in person, and then it was transitioned online.
She and her peers forced to adapt to a virtual world.
Half of the girls said, absolutely, this is not something that I'm able to do. I need to be around other people and I need to be in person. The other half, like myself, said, this is the best case scenario for us. I'm able to get my work done at home. I'm way more efficient here. I want to keep doing this.
A Forbes report shows Gen Z graduates are prioritizing different needs when job searching. They want hybrid or remote work, are looking for stronger mental health resources in the workplace, diversity, equity, and inclusion in the workplace, as well as an opportunity for career growth. Local professors here say they're seeing those same desires too.
This is a generation that has a very strong social consciousness.
This UW-Milwaukee assistant professor says Gen Zers care more about impact, a new outlook she says employers should expect.
I think it's helpful for leaders and companies to kind of take a step back. There is value in sort of being able to help translate that for this generation, and then maybe it makes you more flexible and adaptable to reevaluate that for yourself too.
As new college graduates enter the workforce, for them, it's more than cashing a paycheck.
That has since allowed me to travel home for my dad's retirement party. It has allowed me to spend summers up north while still working during the day and not taking PTO.
A lifestyle shift toward work-life balance and self-care.
Good day to Dr. Zarina binti Abdul Munir. My name is Yashalsi binti Jokiri and my matrix number is 2025514079. Today, I'll be presenting on recruiting challenges in the tourism and hospitality industry, focusing on how organizations manage Generation Z and Millennial workforce expectations. In particular, this presentation focuses on the difficulty faced by HR in recruiting talent within this industry. This topic is important because the hospitality sector relies heavily on human resources, and without a stable workforce, service quality and customer satisfaction can be affected. To begin with, the tourism and hospitality industry is currently facing ongoing labor shortages. At the same time, organizations are experiencing high turnover rates and difficulty attracting young talent. This issue becomes more significant because Gen Z and Millennials now dominate the workforce. From an HR perspective, the challenge is not only to fill vacancies, but also to attract suitable candidates who are willing to work in this industry. Furthermore, HR must compete with other industries that offer better salaries and working conditions. As a result, recruitment in hospitality has become more complex and competitive. For example, many graduates today prefer office-based or digital jobs rather than hospitality roles because they offer more stable working hours. Moving on, we can look at real-world evidence to understand this issue further. According to Forbes, 45% of hiring managers say that Generation Z is the hardest generation to manage. This indicates that there is a gap between employee expectations and employee behavior. From an HR perspective, this means that recruitment is no longer just about hiring, but also about understanding generational attitudes. In the context of hospitality, this becomes more challenging because jobs require teamwork and strong customer interaction. Therefore, HR must adapt their strategies to manage these differences effectively. Next, the main issue in talent acquisition is the difficulty in recruiting and retaining younger workers. According to SOSA, more than half of Generation Z and Millennials would leave their jobs within 2 years if better opportunities arise. This shows that younger employees are more likely to change jobs compared to previous generations. From an HR perspective, this creates a continuous recruitment cycle where organizations must constantly replace employees. In addition, this increased costs reduces efficiency and affects service quality. Therefore, this issue is not only about recruitment but also about workforce stability. In addition to that, the working conditions in the hospitality industry also contribute to this issue. For example, hotel staff often have to work during weekends, public holidays, and long shifts, which affects their work-life balance. These jobs often involve low wages, irregular working hours, seasonal employment, and limited career growth. As a result, this creates a mismatch between employee expectations and industry conditions. From an HR perspective, this makes it difficult to attract candidates who are willing to accept these conditions. Consequently, even when employees are recruited, they may not stay long. Furthermore, generational differences also play an important role. Generation Z tends to prioritize flexibility, work-life balance, and a supportive work environment. For instance, a Gen Z employee may prefer flexible working hours or less stressful roles. On the other hand, millennials focus more on career growth and stability. Although they are different, both generations expect better working conditions. From an HR perspective, this creates a challenge because recruitment strategies must meet different expectations. However, the hospitality industry may not always meet these needs. As a result of these factors, recruitment has become increasingly difficult in the hospitality industry. Firstly, many young people show low interest in tourism and hospitality careers. Secondly, there is negative perception of the industry, especially regarding low pay and long working hours. Most importantly, there is a mismatch between what the industry offers and what young workers expect. From an HR perspective, this makes it difficult to attract suitable candidates. For example, many graduates prefer corporate or tech jobs instead of hospitality. Consequently, organizations face labor shortages and increased competition for talent. Not only that, retention is an even bigger challenge. The industry experiences high turnover rates and short employment durations. Some younger employees may have difficulty adapting to demanding work and environments. For instance, a new restaurant worker may feel overwhelmed by fast-paced service and customer pressure. In fact, a report by MStar highlights cases where some Gen Z employees quit after just one day. This may indicate that some employees have lower tolerance for workplace pressure. From an HR perspective, this creates additional pressure as HR must constantly recruit replacements. Another important factor is burnout. The hospitality industry is known for its high-pressure working environment. For example, frontline staff such as hotel receptionists, waiters often handle multiple customers at once. As a result, this can lead to stress and exhaustion. According to reports, around 41% of workers experience burnouts. Since younger employees value well-being, they are more likely to leave stressful jobs. From an HR perspective, this further increases turnover. Given these challenges, HR departments must adapt their recruitment strategies. Firstly, flexible work arrangements should be introduced. Secondly, mental health support is important to reduce stress. In addition, digital recruitment methods can help attract Gen Z. For example, some hotels use social media platforms like Instagram to promote job opportunities. From an HR perspective, these changes help align recruitment with modern expectations. Organizations must implement practical strategies. Firstly, better wages can attract more candidates. Secondly, career development opportunities are important. Next, flexible shift systems can meet Gen Z expectations. For instance, allowing employees to choose shifts can improve satisfaction. Furthermore, improving working conditions can reduce burnout. As a result, these strategies can improve recruitment and retention. From a critical perspective, the challenges discussed earlier can be linked to several key issues in the hospitality industry. Firstly, traditional HR practices do not suit younger generations, such as Generation Z. This is because many organizations still follow rigid working structures, while younger employees prefer flexibility and work-life balance. Secondly, the hospitality sector has been slow to adapt to these generational changes. For example, many hotels and restaurants still require long working hours and fixed schedules which do not match the expectations of younger workers. As a result, this creates a gap between job conditions and employee expectations. From an HR's perspective, this gap makes it difficult to attract and retain employees effectively. Consequently, these issues lead to high turnover rates and recruitment failure within the industry. Therefore, it is clear that without adapting HR practices, these challenges will continue in the future. In conclusion, the tourism and hospitality industry faces serious HR recruitment challenges. Generation Z and Millennials are reshaping workforce expectations. Therefore, organizations must adapt their strategies. Otherwise, they risk losing future talent and facing labor shortages. That is all for me. Thank you.